It's 10 o'clock, and this is Fox 10 Talks. There have been some new developments in the case that really has, I think, perplexed is a pretty good word to use, the Valley over the last 4 months or so. Ever since the story broke right around graduation weekend that two young people, 18-year-old Pandora Colesrud and 17-year-old Evan Clark, had been found dead at a campsite up around Mount Ord. By the way, we have some of the video from where all of that happened in that Mount Ord region, but the new developments are these. So the county sheriff's office is now saying that the suspect, whose picture you just saw there, Thomas Brown, 31 years old, did contact law enforcement shortly after the two teens were found shot to death there in the shadow of Mount Ord, and advised that he had been flying his own personal drone and had video of the scene. Investigators first realized all of this. He's from Chandler, by the way, because basically he thought maybe he could help solve the case. And yet, as you well know, he's now the man who's been arrested for these killings. A retired FBI special agent spoke to us. His name is Lance Lysing. You're going to hear from him in just a moment. He says it is extreme narcissistic behavior combined with kind of a power-hungry attitude. And here's more about what he had to say. I'm going to roll SOT 1, and here we go. Standing by for that. Hold on, everybody. We'll get it to you in just a moment. Okay. We're going to reload that for you in just a moment here. You guys just let me know whenever it's ready. So a little bit more about what he had to say. So he says that despite what occasionally is seen on TV, you know, in these true crime cases now are so popular when it comes to the streaming shows, etc., that the way it really works is very rarely that a homicide suspect would insert himself into the investigation. And he said when it does happen, it's interesting because you really get into the mind of a killer. Now, we'll just point out, innocent until proven guilty. But in terms of how this case is playing out so far, court documents show that he was quick to offer the drone footage. I don't know if he explained to them what he was doing up there at the time. But again, here's a little bit more about what he said as he spoke to us at Fox 10 just this past weekend.
It's that narcissistic, power-hungry attitude. So when it does happen, it's really interesting because you get into the mind of a killer. You see what's driving that individual, and you don't see it often. It's pretty rare. It's, hey, I've committed the perfect crime. I know it's right, and I want to kind of take I want to feel more powerful by seeing all the chaos I've caused and knowing that investigators aren't able to solve this. So I want to feel that. Like it's almost a real rush for these individuals. They're reliving that experience. They're part of it. They're in the moment, and they think, I'm smarter than everybody else here. Nobody's going to be able to prove this. The fact that he's showing some of these behaviors, staying at the scene, investigators are going to have to dig to see if he's been involved in anything else.
Now, Syleste joins us. Well, Syleste, I found this interview with this retired FBI special agent fascinating.
Yeah.
When you spend your career kind of looking into the mind of those who are accused of some of the worst crimes imaginable, you really do get into the mindset, and just some of what he had to say I thought was really interesting.
Well, and I think it's such a bizarre situation where you find this man who shoots the drone footage. Right. He calls the authorities, right? And then he's trying to be like, help the case along and kind of come alongside the other side. I just think it's incredibly bizarre how the events are kind of turning out to be, the timeline of the events.
Yes.
I do have to say that when this story broke, it was one of the most heartbreaking stories. If you have older children, or even if they're middle school age or something like that, when you have a teenager, one of the students, I believe, was a senior in high school. She had just graduated from Arcadia High School. The other, I believe, may have been a sophomore. But you just saw the cross there with the in the video. It has been heartbreaking for the families. And I believe in one of the press conferences, Ron, late last week, one of the mothers shared her thoughts on this, and it was sad to listen to her, but a bit of, and I don't want to use the word closure because this case is far from over.
Yeah.
But just to have something come about. And I just think his mugshot is so bizarre.
And you're so right about that. I believe that was Pandora's mom who spoke, Pandora Colesrud. And you could tell that she probably had in her mind the thoughts that she wanted to share for weeks and weeks as detectives continued to build the case. And how brave of her to come out in a situation where the emotions had to just be broiling over.
Yeah.
But her quote will stick with me forever. She said, "This alleged killer's darkness will never outshine Pandora's light." And I just thought, what a perfect way to say it.
Yeah.
So that your daughter's remembered in that way.
The difficult thing, too, I think, with this case is that I believe he was married. So he has a wife that, obviously.
We're talking about the accused killer.
The accused killer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I think you have all these other people who obviously are involved on both sides. But I just think it was one of those cases, and I mentioned it briefly last week when we had Lauren and Ron. I think it was on Friday.
Yeah.
But when it initially happened and the Maricopa County Sheriff came in to talk about a different story, we were off camera and it was during a commercial break. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, how's this case going with the two teenagers out at Mount Ord?"
This was how far in advance of the news of the arrest?
Oh, this was over the summer. So this is a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I had asked him, I said, how's that going? And they said, "Oh man, it's not pretty. The crime scene is not pretty." And the investigation, obviously, they're like, "We're just working on leads. Anything we can get, anything we can work on." Detectives are making calls, which was an interesting turn in this case. And I think that expert, Ron, that we just had on hit on it. It's a narcissism, ego, thinking that he can pull the wool over investigators' eyes.
Yeah.
And interesting to watch that video that we have, the body cam footage or the video they shot of him going through the process at the jail.
Oh, yeah. So we do have some of that video as well. But, Syleste, if he had not inserted himself to the case, you just wonder if they would be at square one in this, because he has no prior criminal record.
Yeah.
And, as far as I know, that obviously, if you're trying to piece together a case, if you've got somebody with even a halfway lengthy criminal history, there's all kinds of info that you can dig into there. So he had this clean record, and all of a sudden this happens, and there you are. That's exactly as they were bringing him in for processing. By the way, his bail's been set at $2 million. As new facts come in on that case, we are going to continue to bring it to you. We have had some, I think, really just some very sad and somewhat heartbreaking stories in the world of traffic just in the last 24 hours. And our Irene Snyder was out there at the Deck Park Tunnel, where it looks like a motorcyclist lost his life this morning. And here was Irene's report just a little earlier.
This is just by the tunnel off the I-10 and of 5th Avenue where this crash happened a few hours ago this morning. So taking a look at some of that video, as I mentioned, the crash at this point, it's been cleared up. They cleared it up very quickly and smoothly for that that morning commute. But we were seeing, looking at some of that chopper video, we were able to see there was one body that was here on the roadway. It looked like, according to some of that video you can see there, it looked like it involved a motorcycle and possibly another black vehicle that was there on the roadway this morning. So we are waiting on some confirmation from police and from DPS as far as exactly what happened here today, anyone else involved. But we are seeing from some of that video, it does appear to be a body out there on the road along with a motorcycle and another vehicle involved there in that crash. Now, as I mentioned, this is just off the I-10 and 5th Avenue. They cleared it up within a couple of hours, so traffic moving smoothly at this point right now. The only traffic you'll see out here is just your normal morning commute traffic. But the roadway opened up about 15 minutes or so. If you're planning for that this morning, the roadway is cleared up. But again, waiting on some more confirmation from DPS as far as what led up to this crash, anyone else involved. But we are seeing that there was one body there that was out on the roadway this morning, and there was a motorcycle involved in this crash. So we're certainly thinking of that person and any other family members who will be notified here this morning. So we'll get more information for you as soon as we can as far as an identity of that person, anyone else involved, again, from DPS. But that's what we're hearing here this morning, what we're seeing there from some of that chopper video. But again, the roads are reopened, so planning on that for your morning commute. Just normal traffic out here on the I-10 and 5th Avenue. That happening again just before the tunnel here at I-10 and 5th Avenue by downtown Phoenix.
Okay, so that was Irene's report, and then we go right into this next one, Celeste, where there was a deadly crash, and this is the heartbreaking part of this story. Look, they had to completely block off the I-10 freeway in those eastbound lanes. It happened last night, and there was a pickup truck that struck a passenger vehicle. 5 people inside, 2 kids rushed to the hospital. And you can imagine the heartbreak in this family. A little 6-year-old girl, I believe, died as a result. She was one of those 5 who were in that car that got hit. There was also a 4-year-old who had to go to the hospital, reportedly in stable condition. But then the pickup, the guy driving the truck flees the scene. They did eventually find him. Good police work there at a nearby gas station. But the whole story, I mean, on top of what just happened this morning, and we all deal with the deck. If you live or work or drive downtown, you know that Deck Park Tunnel. The traffic always seems to back up. It always seems like there could be potential problems there. And then this second story, it's just been a rough 24 hours on the roads.
I think so. And it's difficult, I think, too, when you have so much traffic, Ron, ongoing. And so it's, it's such a sad story, though, that 6-year-old child.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, so you're driving around with your kids and something like that happens and you don't expect it and it kind of comes out of the blue. Okay, so all those stories continue to unfold. We're going to by the way, work all of our sources continually on those Mount Ord murders. That is a case, I think, that really does have the Valley talking. Time for a break. It's Mystery Cam time, as a matter of fact. And wow.
Whoa.
Somewhere in the middle of the night already, Celeste?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Where are we, in China? We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. We are ready for your guesses. And when we start doing mystery cams in the dark, good luck to you.
We have some pretty good comments, though. We've got Louis and B. Miguel both said Spain.
Okay.
We know it's not in the United States unless it's in a dark room.
Yeah, correct. Let's just see. So I'm trying to think. We are 8 hours difference from the UK. 9 hours difference from much of Europe. So that would be around 7:15. I guess it could already be nightfall. I'm just trying to think if you go a little further east.
Okay.
To where it's more like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, that kind of thing.
Like Croatia or something?
Maybe, all the way across like Eastern Europe through Russia. And I think I'm going to go Kazakhstan.
Okay.
I mean, if we have a camera in Kazakhstan, I'm going to be so impressed. What are you seeing for guesses,
though? We had a couple people say Spain. We have Husky Mom who's in with London.
Okay.
And so those are the ones that we've had in. I think I'm going to go with Spain, too.
Are you?
I think so, because it's kind of hilly and there's some beautiful hills. Or maybe it's Italy.
Yeah,
I'll go Italy.
I when I first saw this, you know what I thought that was, Celeste? Those are clouds up above the city. At first, I thought it was a mountain and it was a ski area with lights way up high there. But then I've got a fertile imagination. I really, it's a good point. I just don't think it's jet black dark at 6 p.m. yet in London. Maybe it is already. Okay, so you're going Spain.
I'm gonna go Italy.
Oh, you're going Italy?
Yeah, I'll just change it up just for fun.
Wow, and I'm going Kazakhstan. Good luck to me. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, with the mystery cam.
Slovenia.
Oh, so it was in kind of over toward the Balkans,
yeah,
like you were saying. Is it a Croatia or something?
You know
like
what?
that?
I'm Balkan. Did you know that, Ron? I'm part Balkan.
I know. Congratulations. We don't have a lot of Balkan employees, I don't believe.
Well, I mean, we're a multicultural location.
Yes,
we're a multicultural corporation.
In all seriousness, what can you tell us about that? Did you get your 23andMe done or something like that?
I did. And I was part Balkan.
Okay, like 0.01% or actual like 10%?
It was like 0.05.
Okay, still.
And then what else was I? I was like Ashkenazi Jew.
Okay.
I was Iberian from that whole Iberian Peninsula.
So a little
Spanish.
bit of Spain or Portugal.
And then I was it was really like native people, but from Mexico.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And then I'm trying to think of what else was in there. I think there was a few other like small little, but those are primarily like what I was.
I think I need to do it again. I hopped on that bandwagon when it was first rolling out, and they had these huge circles over like half of Europe, and it said something like, "You're 65% from this area." I'm like, well, that's 12 countries. Could you nail it down a little more?
And that's the thing. Like my grandmother, like they. My family has some German in there. And so there were Germans way back when that migrated to Mexico.
Yep.
So you listen to some of the German folk music. It's very similar to like Mexican folk music.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That is really interesting.
Yeah, they're very close. So I wonder if that was like what the Balkan kind of comes from. Maybe there was some influence there or something, like way back, many decades.
So my dad always told me that the name Hoon was a German name.
Okay.
And then I go to, I don't know if I've ever shared this story here on the streaming show before, but about 20 years ago, I was going to make my first trip to London, England. And I noted that the guy who was the British Defense Secretary at the time had an unusual last name. Ask me, Celeste, what last name?
What last name was it, Ron?
Hoon.
Wow.
Yeah, Jeffrey Hoon, Hoon. And I thought, what are the odds? So anyway, I wrote him a note. And when we got over to, this is like so long ago. You had to go to an internet cafe to check your email. Remember those days?
In college, I had to do that, yeah.
And there was an email waiting saying, come on by my office. And it was actually really cool to go into the Ministry of Defense.
How much time did he give you?
Like an hour and a half.
Wow, that is so cool.
I know.
Did he say that he had like you in his will? Like he was going to write you into his will or anything?
No, but he did tell me about like 7 or 8 years later. He said he was on a rafting trip somewhere around the Grand Canyon or up around Hoover Dam or something like that. And the guide said, Hoon, are you related to the Hooner?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So then he was like, this guy's a big deal.
Well, the point is, he told me that the name Hoon is a Viking name. It comes more from Denmark than from Germany, so I still don't know. But Celeste, we get off track.
We do.
Occasionally. It is a streaming show.
And I'm starting to see you in a Viking hat now.
Thank you, Celeste. This looks like we're suddenly in the Viking lands, but where we are, ladies and gentlemen, is one state to the north. Would you look at Utah over the weekend? I was texting with my daughter, and she said, it was raining hard here during the weekend, and I bet you they got some snow up in the mountains. Well, that's one of the highways. You know what's so funny about this? I went up to see her about a month ago. We took this very highway. It's a little 2-lane road that comes up out of the Salt Lake City area, drops down over these hills and down into Park City, and it was like a beautiful summer day. The weather can turn fast up there, but the weather's turning fast for us as well.
It absolutely is. And I know that this is a streaming show, so this is all over the world.
Yes.
We want to give a big shout out to the Utah Department of Transportation.
Yes.
And here's why. Because when they have those big storms, Ron, that move through, what's the name of the highway from Salt Lake to Park City, the big highway?
Let me see.
80?
Guardsman. Oh, yeah, that's the I-80. This is the Guardsman's Pass.
Okay, so this is the Guardsman's Pass. You see them working feverishly here.
Yes.
But on I-80, there's a lot of times they'll have those big storm systems move in. And if you're heading to the airport from Park City to Salt Lake City, they'll clean it up real quick.
Okay.
Like you see the snow plows, like they are on it in Utah.
Yeah.
And they do a really good job.
Hey, by the way, one more shout out. So we've covered UDOT. With your shout out. I'm going to give a shout out to Be Kind Forever, which is like one of my favorite names on YouTube ever, saying that it's fall break, so she or he can watch for as long as you want.
All day long.
It's a 2-hour streaming show.
And we're family friendly here.
Yeah, we are. Friendliest chat online. But when we were on the air this morning in our 6 a.m. hours, Celeste, the temps were in the 60s downtown and out in the burbs, out in the suburbs, like Queen Creek, Santan Valley, and way up northwest Surprise. We were seeing temps in the 50s.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
Well, you know, speaking of the numbers, Bella is chiming in on this, and you'll see her in just a little bit. But so is a bunch of other people, Mr. Paul Valine. They're talking about stew, like a fall or winter stew.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Doesn't that sound good with some of these temps starting to fall a little bit?
Yeah. It's time to get some soup on the stove or some stew or whatever. Are you a big pot roaster, Celeste?
I love pot roast.
Renee does a nice pot roast, those 24-hour roasts, put it in the slow cooker.
That's exactly what I do. I do a slow cooker.
Nice, good.
Potatoes and carrots, Ron?
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of onion.
Oh, yes.
Okay, let's get back on track for the second time today. As you may be aware, we're now closing in on a week of the government shutdown. President Trump this last weekend spoke to the military, the Navy's 250th anniversary celebration. And here's what he had to say about enduring through this shutdown. So here's the president.
Despite the current Democrat-induced shutdown, we will get our service members every last penny. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
A headline that he said that there would be raises coming to the military of almost 4%. I think he said 3.8%. And, by the way, both sides, they're in the middle of the battle, the war of words. And apparently there's a meeting, Celeste, at 12 noon today at the White House to discuss making cuts to some of these federal agencies, which when we ran the poll the other day, a lot of people were saying that they're okay with it because the government had just kind of, while nobody was really watching over the last 20 years, had grown so large that making some cutbacks might not be a bad idea.
Well, there are some agencies, right, we need, right? And maybe those have grown to be too big. Yeah. And maybe there's other agencies where they're just kind of like a lot of fluff. I think a lot of fluff.
Oh, a lot of fluff.
Yeah, so maybe we have to, it'll be interesting to listen to that meeting or what comes out of it to see what they deem more important than others.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, though, what's our deficit now? It's crazy.
Our total national debt is, I want to say it's like over 30 trillion.
Yeah.
It grows a lot. Yeah.
If 37
ladies and gentlemen, we have the answer. I forget that we have our own version of AI. His name is Big D. What is it?
37.88 trillion.
37.
That's how in debt we are.
So,
good
Ron,
luck to our children.
If you were 37.88, thank you, Dave.
Big D. Yeah.
37. If you were in debt by 37.88 trillion,
right?
Would you continue to spend?
I'd take my credit card and I'd put it in the freezer, Celeste. So that's what I would do.
Is that like a Dave Ramsey thing? You know what I mean?
Okay, let's get going here on one of our other big stories because we keep watching Portland, Oregon. Now, the president spoke pretty extensively over the last few days. A federal judge has now blocked the administration from sending National Guard troops to Oregon. The judge said you can't use National Guard troops in Oregon to guard Oregon. So the president said, fine, I'll find them from somewhere else, meaning from California. So then, California and Oregon are right next to each other. I think those two state capitals speak probably somewhat frequently, and they found a judge pretty quickly to shut that down, which then this morning it was just announced from the White House that they're going to appeal that. So the whole thing is the president says he's sending these troops in to try to crack down on crime, but is it worth it for all the legal battles that are going on? Here is your poll question. What do you think? 80% are saying yes, keep fighting, Mr. President. 20% saying no, these states do not want these troops, listen to them. 0% saying cutting crime's a good goal, but not worth all the lawsuits. Celeste, what are you seeing?
Oh, wow.
Hang on. We are going to go to the YouTube poll in just a second, but what do you see?
Ron, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So we're seeing 1,000 votes within the last 58 minutes.
Wow.
Let me read through this. It says the judge blocks Trump's plan to send troops to Oregon should he keep fighting. Okay. And 54% say yes, keep fighting, Mr. President. So share your thoughts with us. We'll get to Big D in a few minutes.
We will.
We're going to take a quick break, Ron.
Yeah, we will. And Big D is standing by after the break.
Big D.
I couldn't hear your mic, Ron. thinking.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. 10:30, this is Fox 10 Talks. If you've just discovered us, welcome aboard. A lot of people have vacay time this week.
Yes.
And so if you're watching for the first time, we do this show 2 hours every morning from 10 till noon out of our beautiful streaming studio. Let's see if I can show you a little bit more of it right there. Look at that.
Yes.
Camelback in the background.
And if you just found us, you're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so let's get
Because
rolling.
we're going to help keep you up, we're going to keep you updated and happy and have a little bit of everything here.
And you'll find that from Mr. Paul Valine to Isabella to Husky Mom and Louis Gonzalez, join the chat. Just say hi. You don't have to get into a deep conversation, but friendliest online chat for sure. Let's go to Dave. We showed you the poll results a few minutes ago. Now, what are you seeing for reaction, Dave? And Syleste is right on. 1,000 votes in YouTube in almost exactly 1 hour.
That's right. Tons of interest in this poll, so we love everybody commenting and voting as well. Bob Bartlett in Peoria says these mayors and governors who are refusing to acknowledge there is a problem seem to be purely ego-driven. They're also in general the soft on crime type who can't understand why the average citizen no longer feels safe. Catholic Housewife 2017 says the federal employees actively working to protect Americans by removing criminal aliens must be protected. If the state authorities refuse to do so, then the federal government must utilize its other resources to do the job of the local state police who aren't doing theirs. Kamala Patty 154 says, please keep fighting President Trump. As an Oregonian grandma who always lived in Oregon, I support you in ICE. And finally, the Traveling Kittens 1393 says, I was in Portland for the marathon. Absolutely nothing going on. I visited the ICE building, a few people, but nothing violent. It's all propaganda, nothing more. Really interesting stuff. We love it. Keep it coming, guys.
Okay, let's chat about these names first.
Okay.
Was it kittens?
Yes.
What was...
Oh, hold on. What was it, Dave?
The Traveling Kittens 1393.
That's fantastic.
I love it. And what about the Catholic Housewife?
Catholic Housewife.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Yeah. If you go on, wherever you get your music, I get it from Apple Music. There was a Glenn Campbell song back in the 70s called "Such Are the Dreams of the Everyday Housewife."
Oh.
So who knows? Maybe that was the inspiration for.
So what was it? What was it about? What kind of dreams are we talking about?
Making her man happy.
Oh, okay, that's about it.
Yeah, things were different in the 70s, Syleste. By the way, we did have a couple of extra folks saying hi this morning, and I just want to give them a shout out. So we have JG with the "What's up? What's up?" And we have also Mike, although Mike joins us quite a bit, saying this is the best live stream on YouTube. You have no idea how happy that makes us to hear that kind of chitter chat.
You know, Ron, it made me think. I went to Spotify to look for the lyrics on that song.
Oh, did you find it?
And I did not find that just yet. But what I did find is a playlist called The 50s Housewife Bangers.
Wow.
With a martini glass right next.
Okay.
To it. So let me read a couple of these because you probably would know better than me because you're a DJ.
Thank you.
September in the Rain by Dinah Washington. Or is it Dina?
Mm-hmm.
Then He Kissed Me, The Crystals. It's a Good Day from Peggy Lee.
Okay.
Be My Baby, The Ronettes.
Okay.
Ronettes. Ronettes.
By the way. Okay, go ahead.
And then I'll just give you one more.
Yeah.
A Long Way From Home by Jason Chatwin.
So here are some of the lyrics for "Such Are the Dreams of an Everyday Housewife." Now, look, this is like 71. This is more than 50 years ago. So here's a little bit. And I love Glenn Campbell. You know, we met him personally when he lived here in the Valley. He was such a good, cool guy. She looks in the mirror and stares at the wrinkles that weren't there yesterday and thinks of the young man that she almost married. What would he think if he saw her this way?
Wow. Oh, my God.
She picks up her apron in little girl fashion as something comes into her mind. We can't sing this or even play the music. But anyway, it just kind of continues. She had all of the boys waiting in line, but now not so much.
Oh no, it's a sad song.
It's a sad song.
I thought it was more going to be about like her making her man happy, like she made this great roast with potatoes and carrots or something. Oh,
okay.
She's thinking of the yesteryears with like a man she thought she was going to marry.
All of the young men she had waiting in line.
I know.
So we have it's 10:35, and you regulars, you know what comes up every Monday morning at 10:35, and honestly, our timing could not be better because there is a story that is unfolding this morning. Now, look, TMZ, they cover the big names wherever it happens. And in this particular incident involving Mark Sanchez, it wasn't like it was in Hollywood, or anything like that. But Mark is a household name because of all of his years as a superstar quarterback at USC.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think this is, and now the details, I think they had a big press conference just this morning giving additional details about what happened from over the weekend.
So let's get to our buddy, Eric Wilson. Hi, Eric.
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Good. Nothing going on in your world today, huh?
Nah, pretty slow day over here. Listen, I've been at TMZ a little over a year now, and I think it's been the craziest year of news in the history of mankind. So it can't really shock me anymore.
Yeah.
What is happening with this Mark Sanchez headline here? We've got some new details.
What a crazy story. I mean, I feel like, first of all, we should say that in fairness to Mark, he has not released a statement yet. So we do not know his side of the story fully. But yeah, very interesting situation this past weekend in Indianapolis. He was there to call the game yesterday. Obviously, he didn't make it there. But I guess there was an altercation late at night. Maybe some alcohol was involved. A 69-year-old man was delivering fryer oil to a hotel, and I guess Mark took some. We're not really sure how it started, but the guy was parked on a loading dock, and I guess him and Mark got into an altercation. The 69-year-old man maced Mark. Didn't do anything to him, so he brought out a knife. Apparently stabbed Mark a few times. Mark may have gotten the knife back, stabbed the guy. He has lacerations across his face. It was a really bloody mess, and both people got pretty injured in this situation.
So did it sound like, from what you've been able to determine, that Mark started it?
We don't know. I mean, it seems interesting that he would. Why we don't know why he would care about this guy parking on a loading dock of the hotel that he was staying at.
Was he in his
deliveries? So that's
vehicle,
where you make deliveries, at the loading dock.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's unclear exactly why or how this really started, and we really won't know until Mark's statement, I feel like, to shine some more light on the situation.
Well, and one of the articles that I read, Eric, this morning it says investigators reviewed hotel surveillance footage, which appeared to show Sanchez jogging into the alley and approaching the man's box truck. The two were seen talking before the interaction turned then physical. So you had this conversation, right? According to investigators anyway. But I think it's just kind of like this, again, like you mentioned, we have to wait for his statement, because what a crazy ordeal in the middle of the night.
Why would he care to begin with? It's just a very weird situation. I feel like we're still missing some pieces, so I don't want to put any blame on one particular person right now. But it is a very weird situation, and I think alcohol was involved as well. So, and
it's a work trip. Like, this is Ron, how many times have you gone on a work trip? Right? And you're like, okay, I'm going to hold off. I'm only having one martini. You know what I mean?
Your job is to be on TV, broadcasting and staying focused the entire time.
Right.
Being out that late for drinks is not a good look. But the press conference earlier this morning, it was announced that he's facing a level 5 felony battery charge.
Oh, so it got upgraded.
Yeah, so that's a 1 to 6 year sentence possibly. Okay. They announced that this guy's getting no special treatment. They don't care who he is. They're gonna try to get the maximum penalty.
We are efforting, as you can well imagine, those photos. They're out there. Anybody can find them online. We don't have permission to use them yet. But I mean, this older guy in the hospital, he looks so beaten up and
69.
slashed and everything. I mean, it's disturbing.
Yeah, and the New York Post just released footage that they obtained of Mark after this situation, him walking back to his hotel. And he has on his, I believe it's his right side, a lot of blood from the stab wound on his chest as well.
Wow.
Have you guys been able to figure out anything about the scene? Now, this was in downtown Indianapolis, but beyond that, what do we know?
We're talking to sources right now, both at the locations there and people who may have witnessed it after the fact, and trying to obtain our own footage to try to put some more pieces together. But right now, what we know is what's out on the website.
And it's not like it's a rough part of I mean, it's Indianapolis.
Well,
it's in the middle of the Midwest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's not like he was jumped. Again, it was a situation with a 69-year-old delivery driver in the middle of the night. It's not like, it wasn't some gang violence or anything like that. It was it was a very strange situation to begin with. This is not the situation you think someone's going to get stabbed in.
You know what'll be interesting too? You all are at TMZ, Eric, are so great at getting, additional video and details and interviews. According to one of the witnesses that was watched the whole thing unfold, they said that both men had cell phones, that they were shooting video of each other during the altercation. And so according to the witness, they were recording each other. So when one of the reports I read was that the investigators confiscated Mark Sanchez's cell phone. And so I'm sure they're digging into that as well, because that'll really help. Be out soon, that'll help to tell the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
For both sides.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Well, so he was in Indianapolis. He's actually done a really good job, I think, as one of he's not the play-by-play guy. He's the commentator guy on a lot of the Fox Sports football broadcasts. And he has his history as I said, a superstar quarterback from USC. But I guess we'll learn a lot more. That's interesting. If they both were rolling their cameras, that video is going to get out.
But because the surveillance footage shows you, the altercation and Sanchez jogging, according to this report, into the alley. But what was said to one another, that video will probably show up. By the way, he did post bond $300. So he's out on bond right now.
Okay. Well, if he posted...
But we are told that he's possibly still in the hospital, though. He posted bond, but he may still be in the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
recovery.
Eric, thank you. I knew you guys could shed some light on it. And boy...
My pleasure, guys.
Happy Monday. Happy Monday. We're going to learn a lot more and see a lot more video in the next... probably 24 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, so Syleste, speaking of football, what is wrong with our beloved Arizona Cardinals?
I think when you celebrate too early.
Yeah. Or when you drop the ball.
That's what I mean.
Too early.
Yeah.
Right?
Like make it into the end zone and then do your fancy trick and your dance and all that good stuff. I just think it was one of those it's mental errors.
Yeah. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that part of the game, but to me, it felt like from that very moment on when they had put the score up on the scoreboard and on TV, and then it went from 27 back to 21. And I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but it was the right call. He did drop the ball too early. The air just came out of that entire stadium. And I think a lot of folks thought, here we go again. 3 weeks in a row, they lose on a real close game.
Did they do a close up of his foot? Because initially it looked like his foot was on the line.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, where's the ball?
Oh, that's
so
right. Did the ball cross the line?
Yeah,
it had
and
not
it
yet.
came loose like 6 inches before he got in. Oh, it's tough.
I know it is hard.
We love them, but rough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So break time. We just heard that Burger King has the spookiest Halloween menu.
Whoa.
And they're a friendly place. You don't generally are not scared.
Right.
But we may be. Syleste and me and Isabella.
Whoa.
Right after the break, everybody.
Wow.
ladies and gentlemen, Bella joins.
Hi.
How you doing, Isabella?
I'm good. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday,
for
Belle.
sure.
Happy
Okay,
Monday.
your fan club is happy to know that you're here with us today.
Thanks, guys.
And we're all getting ready to do a taste test. The folks at Burger King said they had the spookiest, scariest menu they've ever had
Wow.
for Halloween.
That's quite a sell in October.
And I kind of volunteered us for it without checking with either of you two ladies. I mean, are you prepared to participate?
Always.
Oh, okay.
I'm always ready to eat.
Even if it's spooktacular,
if it's a
Celeste?
haunted menu.
Right. Okay, so they're bringing that food in within the next 5 minutes or so, but we do have a few more stories to talk about. And Bella, I don't know if you're so busy between 9 and 10. I am too, but I couldn't help but notice Celeste's cool house today. Celeste, what the heck? Is this, of all the cool houses you've ever done, would this backyard be like top 3 of all time?
Absolutely.
This is amazing. Tell us about it.
So this is a home up by Desert Mountain High School. It's almost like right across the street. But the owners have young kids.
Okay.
And he also owns like a backyard company. And so what he did was he really created this oasis in their backyard. There's a grotto that you see right there.
Okay.
You have these great sitting areas underneath that covered patio.
Oh, and a TV, big screen TV for watching football.
Can you imagine watching the Super Bowl right there?
Oh, yeah.
You have this great splash pad. I don't know if I've ever seen a splash pad in a backyard before.
Wow. Neither have I.
Yeah, isn't that cool? One of the greatest things, I think, the most unique, of course, you have the pickleball court and the basketball court, is the fact that he put in a putting green. But the putting green isn't just in one spot; it actually surrounds the backyard. So it's
Really?
so it's very long. And then this cool spot here, like all the different swings for the kids. And,
There was like 5 different swings.
yeah, so this is a really most of the year we can spend some time outside. And Ron, thanks for showcasing it. I didn't even know you and we were going to pull that out.
Well,
this is awesome.
I don't know if you ladies are aware of this, but I have a water feature in my backyard.
Three water features
Water
here.
One feature with 3 little scuppers. It hits the rocks, and the whole thing is like about 4 feet wide. But I got the GFI working. Ground fault interrupter. For those of you, as much of a handyman.
Did you go to
as
Ace
truly.
Hardware to make that happen, or what's going on?
No, I just flipped the switch.
Yes.
I just touched it and got it. That's about as far as I go. But anyway, these water features are off the charts.
Oh, yeah.
Now, people always wonder, though, Celeste, how much? It's on the market, right?
It is. Let me do a little search because I forgot. But let me tell you this.
Okay.
The owners were so sweet.
Okay.
They made cookies.
Oh.
They
For
made,
you?
Yeah.
Oh, my
yeah,
gosh.
they made cookies for us.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
so
All right, Big
sweet.
D. He's standing
Big D.
by. Now, look, here's the 3 shot. Bring it on in.
All right.
Okay,
we
what
got
do-
the crowns.
Oh,
We've got
yay.
all the different food items.
Nice.
There are spoons as well. I'm going to bring over the desserts.
Oh,
gosh.
there's desserts?
Okay. Well,
Well, we should talk about what this food is because Husky Mom is in the chat and she's asking, is it the Impossible Burger? Because fake meat scares her.
Oh.
So we
Here,
should
want me to hold this here and then.
hear about.
okay, so they have a jack-o'-lantern Whopper.
Okay, the price on this is $4.985.
Oh, Celeste, 4.9.
So that's right in your
Yeah,
your budget, Ron,
sure.
for a second home.
400. Not 4.9. But anyway, you guys look great. I'm trying to be the impartial
What do you mean?
master of ceremonies.
What do you
here.
mean? What do you mean impartial?
Well, like wear all the gear if you want. Well, that's a big part of it, I think. So why is it? So here's the jack-o'-lantern Whopper, right there. Celeste, what are you doing? What's happening here? Oh no, boy, I invited this, didn't I? Hey, I'm a lord in Scotland.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm a king for Halloween. Celeste, what is happening up there?
All right.
Are you happy now, Celeste? Oh, that does not look good. Okay, anyway, all right, so what else is on the... What happened? Oh, there's Celeste again. Oh, no, we lost Celeste. This is like the 3rd time in a week. Go ahead, speak, Celeste. Yes, you can. You can speak. What?
Oh my gosh, this is brilliant.
I mean, am I as handsome as I've ever looked?
Always. Where's your wife?
Well, people want to know, why is it spectacular? So let's just
find out.
There is here.
Bells, do you want to show off our little...
Ooh, the mummy mozzarella. Hang on. Ooh. The mummy mozzarella fries.
Yeah.
That could be
That
spooky.
looks pretty good. Look at what Bells has.
What's happening over there, Isabella? Can you tell? Oh, that's like a monster mash.
Something.
Okay, one last item here. Oh, vampire
nuggets.
Whoa.
All right.
Okay, and what's the burger, Ron?
It's a jack-o'-lantern Whopper.
Oh.
So the whole idea is that I'm getting this thing off of my head. I love you, Burger King, but that's the end of that. So are we going to sample? Or
let's show it off first and see. Oh, my goodness, look.
Yes.
It's an orange bun.
Like a radioactive orange.
Wow.
Really? Okay, so I guess we should open the boxes. Let's see what's going on with the vampire nuggets, for
I can't believe I'm
example.
having this for breakfast, you guys.
Oh, look. They're like little bats that are flying
cute.
around right there.
Okay.
Okay. I'll sample
Mummy
one of
mozzarella fries.
pretty good.
Okay, let's see here.
Yeah.
Hold on. People are loving
How about this? Bats, fangs, and flavorful fangs.
Wow. And favorable fangs.
Right here.
You gotta say, Ron, you have to say it like this. And favorable fangs.
Favorable fangs.
If you can
Flavorful
show,
things.
it comes in what looks like a coffin.
Oh,
of course
it's
it
a
does.
coffin.
Right?
And look at these little, they're like ice cream with Oreo on top. And
Wow.
I wonder what those are, like little nerds or something.
I just feel like these orange, they may prove to be very popular. That's the sun's color. They just keep
that's
orange.
right. They're like a pumpkin. Oh,
Anyway.
Ron, what is this here? What's this little pail?
That's spoons for the ice cream.
Look how cute. Like if you have a little kitty and you want him to go trick-or-treating.
Okay. Anyway,
The
it's
vampire
time
nuggets
for
are good.
It's time for a few other stories besides just the spooktacular. I mean, good
Okay.
for them. They're really getting in the holiday spirit, and I love
Yes.
it. Have you guys all put up your 18-foot skeletons yet?
Oh my goodness! Well,
They're everywhere.
The cool house. They had one right as you walked into the home we just showed you in the entryway of the house.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. But let's just talk a little bit about Halloween. And I mean, now that we have this stuff in front of us, when it came to Halloween, Celeste,
Yes.
when you were a kid, or you can speak about this for your kids right now.
Okay.
Do you have any rules when they go out and they bring home the candy? Do they have to space it out? Can they chow down immediately, or do you have any rules at all?
We do have rules.
And what
we
are
have
they?
rules. If they, when they were little, we would go out around 5 or 5:30, and
Okay.
it was all the neighbors that we knew.
I like that, by the way.
Yeah.
Nothing good ever happens past about 8:15.
I'm right with you, Ron.
Right?
And so we'd come home, and then they would put aside some of that candy from like
Okay.
neighbors who we knew.
Okay, yeah.
They could eat that candy right away.
Oh, this is so great because Bella was telling me her story, and Bella's mom is in our top 10 most loyal viewers, watches every day.
We love you, Bella Mom.
But she wanted to protect you guys, so how did she? What were her rules?
So at the end of the night, and we also went out earlier.
Yeah.
My mom would snatch all of our baskets away, and she'd dump it on the table. And then first she would take out all of the questionable looking candy. 'Cause there was always those warnings about the gold coins and stuff that,
Sure.
whatever.
Right.
And then once she took out all the questionable candy, she then divvied it up into equal thirds.
After that point, there was like 10% left, or
Yeah. And I had way more candy than my sister, but it
Okay.
didn't matter. We each
you
got...
had to share equally.
Yes.
Did you have a better costume, or why was that the case?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
why'd you
probably
get more
just-
candy?
You know, I think when the...
You went to the same houses, right?
I'm playing the role of her
Well,
little brother,
I
who's about a
think-
foot taller than her. But anyway,
yeah.
back to your story.
The houses that weren't handing out and they just left the bowl outside. My
Oh.
sister was good and she would take one.
Yeah.
But sometimes I would take, 2.
2 handfuls.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
But it didn't matter because we all had to get the same amount.
Oh.
Okay. Now, did that bug you? Did you have a discussion about, say, communism with your mother?
I just couldn't argue. It was her rules, so I had to obey.
That was a very good daughter move.
Yeah.
Her rules.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she's trying to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
That never changes, by the way, even when you become a grandparent. In fact, it's
Oh,
harder
yeah.
when you're a grandparent.
Yeah, because you want to give them all the candy
And,
that they want.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
Well, you just want to make sure everybody's feeling like
Yeah, loved.
Loved.
Yeah.
Loved.
Everybody wants to be loved.
Can we, before we say our goodbyes, let's go. Oh, hold on. I know we're importing. I need VO7 of the giraffe.
Oh.
I am requesting VO7 of the giraffe. We'll have it for you in a minute. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was so great. There was a little baby giraffe that was born the other day at the zoo. Let me pull it up right here. And just to see, like in those, this is in the Dallas Zoo. Give me the high sign when we're ready with that one, you guys. Okay.
You know, we have.
It's awkward.
Because they're trying to figure out how to walk.
Well, in the first,
And they're
5
so
minutes
long.
of life.
They are.
No kidding.
And they're kind of like, their legs are kind of weak. Like,
Right.
you know, they're just kind of figuring
they're all
it out.
spindly, sort of.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And we had, there was a baby that was born at the Wildlife World Zoo, giraffe.
Yeah.
And I was there, I think it might have been like maybe 8 years ago. Oh, look how cute it is, Ron. Here it is.
Look
the
at this.
Dallas Zoo.
Okay. And he's like, whoa, I got this. Oh, look at
How
Mama there.
sweet.
This is like moments later, I guess, or maybe in the next few days.
Isn't it crazy they come out and they can stand? Like, what
Yes,
if
it's
our newborns came
crazy.
out and they could stand? You're like, what's happening?
That's so crazy.
The whole process is being sped up. Look at that zoo. Okay, so
Wow, how sweet.
here, let me just show you here. This is Alf. Able to stand within 1 hour of being born. That was the very first video that you saw. And then, of course, now as Alf is growing a little bit, then you see he's moving around just fine. Now he can, they say, can almost do laps around the zoo. I'm just stretching because I think it's on a loop. You're still learning how your tongue works.
He's so beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here,
Oh.
this is what I wanted to show everybody. This is like right afterwards. And he's like, whoa, 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 where am I?
Wow.
What's happening? And then he, gets his sea legs.
Wow.
I just loved it.
It's really remarkable, right? Like nature, the way life takes place,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
with
Right.
humans and animals and just like so remarkable. Like just like a few hours ago, that face was inside his mama's belly.
I know.
And now he's walking around with her.
There's an old show that those of you who are 50 plus might remember. It was called Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom.
Oh, is that a show, a TV show?
Yeah, it was a TV show every week, and now I want to go back and watch old episodes.
So they must have named the insurance company. Is that Mutual of Omaha? Is that
Yes,
insurance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Omaha.
Yeah,
Omaha.
right. Anyway, this is like your modern day version of that very show, except it's a streaming show and you can watch us on YouTube. Ty and Anita are next. We should leave at least half of a Whopper for them.
Maybe.
No, because
Have a great
Ty's
day.
vegetarian.
We'll see you soon.
Here they come.
Hello.
Happy Monday.
Is it happy?
It always is happy.
Okay, so my alarm clock is typically set for 1:20 a.m. I'll hit snooze and try to be out of bed by like 1:30ish.
Okay.
I had the worst insomnia, didn't fall asleep until 10. And then at 2 o'clock in the morning when I should have been up already, I feel one of these. And my husband goes, "Are you supposed to be up?"
Oh.
Yeah. That's
Thank
how
goodness.
my day started.
What happened to your alarm?
I don't think I said it last night. I think I was so panicked and
You
worried.
always got to double check.
I usually do. I'm really good about it.
That's the problem with this morning shift, right, Irene? As you know.
The other problem is if you accidentally set PM instead of AM.
Yes.
I did that
I've done
one
that
time, and I'm like,
too.
no.
Or if you hit snooze, but you're not hitting snooze, you hit stop.
You turn the alarm
Yeah.
off.
So part of my AM routine is I get up and I'll have my coffee and I get on the treadmill, which for those days where I don't get up early enough does give me that like cushion. I still had enough time to like do everything I usually do, but it
Threw you off.
Well, it throws you off because you're not in your regular routine.
I know.
Right?
Well, I'm glad you got in to
I am
work on
too.
time.
Been a better day since, hopefully.
Yes.
I don't know. We're here. We're here. And I'm
minimum, at
grateful
least.
for it. I'm grateful
That's true.
for it.
All right, Irene, you had such
Sorry,
a great.
Connie.
Oh, that's all right. Well, you had such a great story this morning that we thought we would replay it. And so we're going to start off with you because you got to get out of here. You've had a long day too. Oh, it's a VO, not the package. All right, that's all right.
We can talk about it.
All right, let's. I'll play the video and you talk about it.
I memorized the entire story, by the way. No, I'm kidding. But these are the burrowing owls. It's with the Wild at Heart Rescue. So they are, wait till we get to the video for a second, but I went out and did this story probably about a couple weeks ago, and then we had edited and everything since then. But look how cute these guys are. They are so adorable. I've never seen burrowing owls in person before. The
And those eyes.
The eyes, first of all. So the way this organization works, they were recently featured in National Geographic, which is one of the reasons we featured them too.
Incredible.
Which is a big deal. They're in Cave Creek, just off North 45th Street. And the guy who helps run it, that man we're seeing right there, he was telling me that he's been working with them for decades at this point. And the whole initiative is based around trying to release them into areas where they can burrow again, because a lot of their normal burrowing areas here in the Phoenix area are being developed. So you have solar farms, you have, a lot of other infrastructure that's being developed, businesses.
And so basically, they have no place else.
Yeah,
nowhere
exactly.
Else to go.
So when they take out their home, where are they going to go? So this organization goes in there. They have a bunch of volunteers, and they take the owls back to their center in Cave Creek, and they make sure they take care of them. While in the meantime, they're creating them new homes for them.
Huh.
So
that is incredible. So when did they start doing this? When did they notice that there's a problem?
I don't remember the exact year, but it's been decades at this point.
Okay.
So it's been a while because the Phoenix area has been growing. So they've been doing this for many years at this point too. And they had several owls there while I was out there. And I was asking him how many he, rehabilitates or rather re-releases throughout the year. And it's dozens of owls too. Wow. So there's a lot of them. And it takes them a few months before they're actually able to re-release them because they have to build those homes and they need volunteers to do that.
We saw that video. It looked kind of maybe like a surveillance video almost. What was that about?
Oh, I
Where you
believe
see
that
the
some of
little
the
owls kind of like looking at
that
the
was
cameras?
just some of the nature areas where their natural habitat would be. Yeah. So we had asked them if they had some video of them actually making those burrows. They didn't have any videos for us of making them, but they had some pictures. So we showed those in the footage. Yeah, they're really cute.
Did you go in any of those enclosures?
Did.
I've done that before, and it was terrifying to me.
Oh, really?
Well, they were flapping their wings all over, flying at my head.
I will say they didn't fly too close to my head. I was kind of at the back, but also because we were trying, it was a very small area. We had a big camera we were taking in there. So I was with Brian Acosta, my photographer. He said, Irene, just stay back so I can get my shot. You don't get my shot. So I got to stay back in the corner.
They look like they're real itty bitty. Are they
They're
bigger
small.
owls or real
No,
tiny?
I'm trying to think how to describe them, but I don't want to say wrong because I don't know exactly how many inches, but maybe 5 inches.
Oh, that tiny.
No. Well, some of them were smaller, maybe more 6 or 7 inches, but they were pretty small.
Man, they are cute though, aren't they?
I just think the eyes were something else.
Yeah.
I have a cute video I'll have to share on Instagram later, but of one of the owls looking at me. It was turning the other way, and I guess I made a noise. The owl turned its big eyes toward me. It looks like he was caught in the middle of doing, you know what I mean? It was like, what were you up to? So.
Do you know, Irene, are these native to Arizona?
They do have them in Arizona. Yeah, they are native to Arizona.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, they're native species that are kind of being taken out of their habitat because of all this development, which is great for Phoenix, but you have to think about the creatures too. So that's why they're doing this.
We live in the Scottsdale area, not far from the air park, just like an idea. And when we first moved there, was surprised. We have owls, we have coyotes, we have javelina, and then I saw for myself a bobcat. Oh. And we have alleys in our neighborhood where they can hide and find little, I guess, build little nests and homes and such. But it always shocked me that they were just out there in the city, essentially, in such a metro area. But it's like, but when you think about it, it's like we took their space. And so there's this fine line of...
I guess you think about it too, really, we're in their home.
Yes,
so they were there first in a way. So, or actually they were.
For folks that want to get more information about that organization, Wild at Heart, they have a website. And
they do a website, so you can just Google them. I believe it's something like wildatheart.org. We'll post more of that information on our website too. They're looking for volunteers. I asked them, what's the best way people can help? Well, one's donate, of course. You can donate on their website. The other one is volunteer. They need people to come in because when the owls are at their rehabilitation center in Cave Creek, well, they need someone to help take care of them. We have volunteers out there making the burrows. There are other people who are, going and catching them and then bringing them to the center. So they need people to help feed them. So they said it's really a unique experience. You'll feed them and then people want to come back and do it again.
Oh, cool. So yeah, that's a great story. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
All right, Irene, that's a cool story. All right, let's move on to this other one. This is a big story that we were following all morning long. Some of the new developments of that horrible story about those two teenagers that were camping in the Mount Ord area. Some new developments and kind of disturbing.
Kenzie joined us on Friday when the arrest was officially announced. 31-year-old Thomas Brown is a suspect that was taken into custody. And the new information that came in over the weekend was Thomas actually got in touch with investigators. So he was on their radar from the very beginning. And as you just saw in that report, it said he advised that he flew his drone in that area and was willing to share video with investigators. So essentially cooperating maybe before he was even a suspect, which is pretty interesting. And so I know Kenzie is doing some further research into this situation, but we had two teenagers who were killed. 18-year-old Pandora kills, I don't want to say her last name.
Jules Rood.
Jules Rood, thank you very much. 17-year-old Evan Clark. The bodies were found back in May at Mount Ord. And so we're just getting a little bit more information about the suspect. And how investigators came to arrest him.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And especially if they said that he's been on their radar since the very beginning, kind of like offering up all of this information, kind of like inserting himself into the case. And so you have to wonder, like, was he doing this to try and get them off of his trail, so to speak?
Right.
Like to be like, look, I'm being helpful. It wasn't me. It couldn't possibly be me because look at me. I'm trying to be helpful.
It's not me.
So it's just very interesting to figure out
we
what
spoke
his thinking
to an FBI agent. We don't have that sound, but I think Ron maybe used it earlier. The former FBI agent said it's almost a rush for these individuals. They're reliving the experience. They're part of it. They're in the moment and they're thinking, hey, I'm smarter than everybody else here. No one's going to be able to prove this.
So it is pretty interesting. So, of course, Kinsey is working on the story again today. So hopefully we'll have some new information. You can watch that on later editions of Fox 10. But, man, this story just kind of gets more and more interesting and kind of weirder as we learn more about it. Pretty sad story.
And so absolutely unfortunate, two teens losing their lives. So we'll keep you guys posted on that one. I know this is a story that you're going to really like, American Airlines. I like this. We're both on the folks at home chime in, carry-on only bandwagon.
Yeah, no check bags.
No check bags allowed. Nope.
But so they're doing something different. They're, I guess, being a little bit more, quote unquote, lenient when it comes to the size of bags that they are going to be allowing folks to carry on to the plane. So you've been to the airport before. You see those kind of things that like stand out there and they have they're like made of metal. Yeah. And it's like, does your bag fit in here? And some gate agents and some airlines are pretty, I guess, by the book. If it doesn't fit in there, they're sticklers. That's a good word.
They're going to make you actually test it to see if it, and it is a little anxiety inducing, especially when you're stuffing that softer case, right?
So American Airlines is saying, listen, we're going to be a little bit more lenient when it comes to the size of the bags that folks are going to be able to bring on, just to kind of, I guess, maybe alleviate some of that anxiety. I'm trying to find the exact measurements because they did put them out as far as like how big the bags can actually be, but they're basically going to be saying, listen, we understand that it's hard to get all those carry-on bags in there. Some people's suitcases are a little bit bigger than others, so they're going to basically be a little bit more lenient when it comes to this.
I used to have one of the soft, I guess, is that what you would call it? Like a
soft-sided baggage? Yeah.
So that, I'm trying to Google it too, carry-on size. It's 18 by 14 by 8 is what it's supposed to be. And then it says the maximum is 22 by 14 by 9 for a personal item that measures under the seat is 18, 14, 8. So I have noticed, and correct me if I'm wrong because you fly a lot, they've changed the way you put those bags in, the carry-on.
Well, it depends on the plane. Like some of the newer planes, you can put them in and then flip them on their side so you can accommodate more bags.
Yeah. And then the older ones, they were a little smaller. So I'm not sure if they're making them bigger, they're designing them better, but I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, me too.
A little bit more customer oriented, a little bit more customer friendly. And they said that they're just going to let the customer, the traveler, be right on this one.
All right.
Okay.
There we
good
go.
With that?
Sure.
Okay.
Should we move on to Rite Aid?
Yeah, let's talk about Rite Aid.
Closing its doors after more than 60 years in business, Rite Aid is no more. It officially closed its remaining stores last week. Was founded back in 1962, was one of the nation's largest pharmacy chains and operated more than 5,000 stores at its prime. That number dwindled to more than 2,000 in 2023 when Rite Aid filed for bankruptcy for the first time. Then the retail filed a second time for bankruptcy this year. They struggled to compete against those other big brands like CVS and Walgreens. And so now, if you are a fan of Rite Aid, no more. I'm trying to think of, do we have any Rite Aids here in Arizona?
I'm trying to think if we did. I know I've been in the Rite Aid, but I'm not quite sure where. If it was Chicago, New York, I remember big city. It doesn't, including any in the Phoenix area, but I'm not quite sure if we had any or not. So, do you feel maybe, I haven't really seen any, well, there was one CVS by me that closed. Have you seen a lot of the pharmacies
there was
closing?
one on, I used to drive by all the time on 7th Street, and I think
CVS?
Camelback, it was a CVS, I think, and it's closed. But
I just wonder with the internet and other options, are we seeing fewer and fewer of these pharmacies? But it's so nice to be able to just pop in and say,
grab your stuff and go.
I need this or I need that.
All right. We'll take a 2-minute break. We'll be right back.
got a full house.
We do have a full house. Look at this, because today is National Child Health Day. Mm-hmm. It is observed here in the United States on the first Monday of October. So we're like, we got to get in here. You and I don't have kids.
No.
Thank God. Just kidding.
On Friday, we were discussing the potential topics, and I turned to Crystal and I said, Crystal,
what do you care about?
As a mom, what do you care about? Yeah. So here's Crystal to tell us about that.
Yes, so I'm going to join in with you guys. Well, you asked me, and of course, we're getting to like cold and flu season, and Sophie has already gotten one little cold, and so I'm mentally preparing for what's to come. So that was like one of the top things at mine. And then she's a picky eater, so we got
a lot going on. So we decided to bring in Dr. Rahul Chawla. He is a pediatric intensivist.
Yes.
Did I get that right? At Banner Children's Thunderbird Medical Center. So, doctor, thank you so much for coming in and talking with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So do you see it all? Do you treat it all?
We do, yes. I do pediatric critical care, and I'm board certified in general pediatrics as well, but then I also do pediatric emergency room medicine.
Wow.
So Crystal mentioned it off the top, and we are entering that cold and flu season. Are you seeing numbers go up? Are we seeing the kids, and they're all back in school? So that's usually where those germs really start spreading.
Yeah.
What do you think the numbers will be? Is it too difficult to predict? What are we looking at here?
So we know our season hasn't hit yet. Normally we see what happens on the East Coast and it moves toward us this way. But for now, we saw a lot of COVID over the summer, especially I saw a lot of COVID in kids less than a year or 2 years of age coming into the ER. And again, remember, COVID in a kid is just another viral infection, right? Not everyone that has COVID is going to be intubated on the ventilator in the ICU. Everyone thinks about what happened to adults or the elderly during the pandemic. That's not always the case. It's just another form of a viral syndrome that a kid can get. And we know kids can get, 8 to 12 colds or viral syndromes every year on average.
Which is a parent's worst nightmare,
by the way.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It is.
The COVID then, and you're saying that was an excellent comparison because, again, I right away think, oh, gosh, dire. That's not good. But how do you know if it's not, I know you're testing, but as a parent, how do you know what symptoms to look for COVID versus the flu versus we need to take them in?
Sure. So the biggest one really for kids is RSV virus, right? That's what really does a lot of morbidity and mortality, especially in very, very small babies. And there's a vaccine for that now, right? They didn't have that when I was going through training. ICUs were always full with babies and toddlers with RSV virus during respiratory season. We also saw before the pandemic, like in 2019, RSV was also getting aggressive as a virus with adults and the elderly. A lot of the adult ICUs had elderly patients with RSV. But really, it's going to be the same kinds of symptoms, right? Cold, cough, runny nose, sneezing, fever. We're really worried about a fever of 100.4 degrees rectally or 38 Celsius. In any kid less than 3 months of age or less. If they have a fever of 38 and they're 3 months of age or less, you should go get them evaluated at the emergency department. And a lot of it also is when do you call your pediatrician or your PCP versus going to the ER. Sometimes families are going to wait for hours when it's busy to get out of the triage room in the ER. So I think it's important to have a good relationship with their actual primary care provider, whether it's a family doctor or a pediatrician. But, really, there's a lot of things you can do at home. And just because if you brought your baby in and your baby had RSV virus or COVID, doesn't mean they're going to get hospitalized, right? We have to look for symptoms like they need supplemental oxygen to maintain their oxygen saturations. What is their work of breathing, right? We look for something called retractions, which is when they're using accessory muscles to breathe. You'll see the muscles in between their ribs or their intercostals going as they're breathing. Sometimes you'll see tugging right here. You can see using their belly muscles to breathe, their abdominal retractions as well, nasal flaring. These are all signs or symptoms telling us that a baby or a child is in respiratory distress.
Can I ask, so my husband recently traveled for work. He came back sick, and then eventually the whole house got it, which I think is like what happens a lot with families. But is there anything that you can do as a parent when you have a really small kid to hopefully stop them from getting it? Because, we're making all her food. She wants to be carried constantly. She's just starting to walk. But, how do you avoid them getting sick when they're right next to you all day long? Is it almost impossible?
There's no way to do it.
Darn it.
So what did we see during the pandemic when everyone was social distancing and people were wearing masks or not really cutting exposures to other people? during the pandemic, we did not see much RSV at all.
Interesting.
A lot of the children's hospitals, like I said, we were taking care of adults up to the age of 30 in our pediatric floors and pediatric critical care units because that's where the need was. I don't like treating adults. I can, but that's not what I trained for. But it's unavoidable for a baby or a toddler to get respiratory illnesses and fevers, right? The best you can do is the normal kind of stuff. When we say hand washing, right? If you're sneezing or coughing, do it into your shirt sleeve or into your arm, not in your hands. A lot of hand sanitizer. If you have other kids at home, good luck, because you can do everything you want, but kids are germ factories, right? They go to school with 30 other kids in their class. If they go to daycare, they're going to bring everything in. Like we know kids that go to daycare, I see it all the time. They have more ear infections. They tend to have more viral syndromes or viral upper respiratory illnesses or URIs than kids that, aren't exposed to all that, but you can't control that sometimes.
I was going to jump on this. I had the same question that one of our viewers has. Be Kind Forever. She asked, what is something that you can do to give your children or babies to help boost their immune systems? Because, sometimes when you feel a cold coming on, you reach for the vitamin C or the zinc or whatever else they have, kind of those wellness formula vitamins, the elderberry, whatever you think. Can you do that with the child to help boost their immune system?
So I'm a member of I'm faculty of the American Academy of Pediatrics, right? I'm board certified. And the number one thing you can do is make sure your kid is vaccinated according to the schedule of the American Academy of Pediatrics. I don't talk about this political or anything like that, right? This is my kids were vaccinated. Talk to most pediatricians or doctors, their kids are. I do medical mission work in Africa, and when you see families that'll walk barefoot 30 miles to a World Health Organization vaccination clinic for free to come to get their kids done, I'm not forcing anything on anyone, but the biggest thing you can do is make sure your child was vaccinated. They're eating healthy, right? Obviously with a baby or someone that's not taking other foods or just formula or breast milk, if it's breast milk, you want to make sure mom is eating a balanced diet and taking everything. But once kids start to eat, toddler age and they're taking other foods, you want to make sure they get plenty of water, like they're hydrated. But again, we don't give water to a baby, right? So hydration, you want to make sure that they're getting exercise, that they're sleeping enough, that it's a balanced diet. They're getting lean proteins. You want to avoid sugary juices, right? A lot of fruits and vegetables are great, but not actual like apple juice or orange juice because that's concentrated sugar. But along with that, you want to make sure that it's a kid. You can't say you can't have a cookie or you can't have a popsicle, right? If you're going to withhold everything, then they're going to sneak it, right? We see those videos of people, those toddlers will have like all this stuff stuck under their bed. Someone finds in a video. So everyth's in moderation, right? But really, that's the key. And I think a lot of people don't have as good relationships they had when we were kids that our parents had with our pediatricians, right? Everyone's always so busy all the time. There used to be a time where, we could come home from school and our parents would call the doctor who would say, bring them to the office right now. It doesn't really happen the way how busy everything is right now, and you're always set, to go to the ER. Other recommendation I would give is if you think your child has to go to the emergency department, try to go to a hospital that has a pediatric emergency department. Every ER can handle a kid, but you actually have pediatric trained providers that are better with kids at hospitals that have pediatric emergency departments. Right in Banner, we have one at Banner Desert and we have one at Banner Thunderbird.
Can you go through, especially like with flu vaccines and at what ages can we get the children vaccinated? What is going to work best for each age group and where we should be to try to keep the kids healthy?
Yeah, so this should be a discussion with your pediatrician, but I just looked at this data this morning again. So it's after 6 months of age for a pediatric patient. If they've never had a flu shot before, they have to get 2 the first time, and they're usually 4 weeks apart. What ends up happening is sometimes they'll get that first 2, and then it'll be a few years. So once you've had the first 2, it's just one time a year, and it doesn't matter which flu shot you get, right? There's an intranasal, there's a live vaccine, there's a kill vaccine, there's a shot. It doesn't matter which one you get. That's what the newest recommendation is. But if you have had if you have had 2 one-year shots in the past, then you're fine too. You don't have to get the one that's 4 weeks apart like that. But really, everything's on your schedule, and this should be a discussion, right? Sometimes parents are fearful of getting too many shots at one time. It's a common thing that you hear. This is just a discussion to have with the pediatrician, because stuff can be delayed as long as it's still given to work with your doctor to get that done.
Go ahead.
I was just also, can you just quickly talk about, you mentioned it, but the RSV vaccine, it's new like widely for kids, right? But not new in terms of like how long it's been around and being utilized.
So, right? If I may add to that, the same strain, because I know the flu will change.
Yeah,
strains.
RSV is usually I think there's just a couple of forms of RSV. We used to have we have something that we give to premature babies, like NICU babies that are born very premature. There's strict criteria, or for babies that have certain heart disease or certain chronic diagnoses, they get a prophylaxis every month during respiratory season that is almost the antibodies to help fight RSV if they get it. Doesn't mean they can't get it, right? But, again, unavoidably, no matter what you do, they're going to get sick. And what are the things you should be doing at home, right? Tylenol or acetaminophen, ibuprofen. Lots of times families will come to the emergency department with their kid that's got a cold or a fever, but is not showing any signs of respiratory distress or, those other things. And we check them out. We'll swab them. We can get rapid results back pretty quick for RSV virus, influenza A, influenza B, and COVID. That's usually within 30 or 40 minutes we'll have a result on a nasal swab. But again, there's no real treatment for it, right? If they test positive for influenza and the symptoms have been less than 48 hours, we can give them Tamiflu. That's marketed. There's pediatric dosing for it. But for the medicine we use for COVID, that's under the age of 12. We don't give it.
We've only got about a minute left.
Wow, that was quick.
But I know you kind of want to talk about diet.
Oh, yeah.
Eating healthy. How do we get them to eat healthy?
Well, yeah, that's a big question because my daughter, fruits are great, vegetables, big no so far. I've been sneaking it into like some muffins and stuff like that, but is there any tips would be my question, I think, for a lot of parents.
I just think some of the important stuff is as you can, you want to eat as a family, right? I think a lot of that has gone away now. We made a point with our kids growing up, 5:30 or 6 was dinner time, phones away, everything away, and we sat together. Little kids and toddlers, they're going to imitate what mom and dad are doing. If they're seeing you eat it, you're sitting down together as a family, you're building those habits early on for them to do it. And my other argument would be any way you can get them to take it.
So sneak it into the smoothie and the muffin is okay.
Yeah, she's going to have to eat more broccoli, Crystal.
She has no idea how much.
Watch you.
She used to be kind of interested, and then recently she's just decided to ward off even anything green recently. But
hopefully she comes around.
I know.
Doctor, thank you so much. That was a wealth of knowledge. We appreciate you coming in.
So
thank you.
And we know you got to go to work.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming in.
Tomorrow.
All right.
Thank you.
Much more AZ8. What show is this? Fox 10 Talks continues in 2 minutes.
Hello, everybody. It's Ron and Des, and we're looking out on another beautiful blue sky day. I took I rolled the garbage can out. Monday's garbage day, recycle day, in Mesa. And when I brought it out last night around, what would that have been, around 6:30 or 7, I'm like, holy cow, I need a jacket. Because I think the temps were like in the six. I didn't do it, but I'm like,
you thought about it.
Wow, it's cooling off fast.
All right, I have a confession.
Okay.
I thought about, for a split second, I'm going to drive in this morning, turning on the heat.
Oh, see.
But then I go, Desiree?
Yes.
You're only cold because the AC is blowing in the car.
Correct.
You probably just don't need the AC anymore. So I turned the AC off, but the car is still a little chilly. I was like, oh, dare I turn the heat on?
It is that time of year where you have to decide on a daily basis. Is this a heater kind of a day or an AC kind of day?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Early in the morning.
And so if we seem a little giddy to our worldwide audience, it's that time of year. It's a long summer here, and it goes to about the 1st of October. So when the temps finally cool, it's really been nice. But all of a sudden, I look at that shot right there and this shot here, and I say to myself, all those things that we decided not to do for the last few months, like Camelback Mountain. Where's that downtown cam again? Oh, that's I'll let you pop it up, James, that downtown cam. You can look off to Camelback Mountain, and it's so inviting. I mean, I love when the weather finally gets nice. I love doing Piestewa or Camelback. I do not. I only have ENG 21, 22, 23, and 24. But it was just that shot we had up just a second ago. Anyway, it is in that part of the country. Oh, you know where that is, Des?
Where is that?
Maryland.
Oh, that's nice.
I only know
look
this.
At that, the leaves you can tell they're in that
starting,
changing
right?
phase. They're getting brown.
I only know this because I see the Maryland flag underneath Old Glory there. Washington played Maryland this weekend, and we had a massive comeback. We were losing 20-0, and we won 24-20. That's a pretty good comeback. And they had the Maryland flag flying all over the place.
Cardinals fans were wishing for a comeback.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyway, there's a great view of the city. It's a beautiful day. And this morning when we were on the air early, it was in the mid-60s in downtown Phoenix. So we're celebrating that one for sure.
Yeah, I just want to say hi to some folks in the chat.
Oh, yeah? Who do you want to say hi to, Des?
Linda.
Go for it.
She says, good morning, Des. Hey, Dooner.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Be
Thanks
kind
for staying with us. Darla, good morning.
Be Kind Forever's in there.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Mr. Paul Valine still hanging with us.
And how about Darla?
Yeah.
Darla is saying, hey, love you, Des, and Ron Soon. She gave me that nickname instead of Ron Hoon in the monsoon. It's just Ron Soon.
That is actually pretty clever. I like that.
Absolutely, Darla. I'll answer that. What's up with you two? Hope all is well. She says, I'm ready to turn the heater on, so Des, you're not alone.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't. But we're getting there in the morning. Those temps are dropping. We like to see it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we have a lot of stories to talk about. Coming up in about a minute, we have the chief music writer or the senior music writer for Variety who's going to be joining us. That's up in about 10 minutes to just talk about the Taylor Swift phenomenon. Her fans aren't leaving anytime soon. She had the album come out the other day. It was like record setting. And then the movie this weekend was a mega hit. So
yeah,
she's still going strong.
Are we surprised?
No,
right?
I
know. Yeah, she's got quite the fan base.
But let's talk about the other big story this morning has to do with Mark Sanchez. If you don't follow college or pro football, you may not even know the guy, but he was a superstar quarterback, one of the most famous names to come out of USC football in a generation. And he's been a longtime sports commentator for Fox on the NFL broadcast, but something happened along the side of a hotel and restaurant in downtown Indianapolis where, you'll hear a little bit of the news conference just wrapped up within the last couple of hours out of Indianapolis. I mean, people want answers because it's just hard to, if you've seen the pictures, sorry, we don't have permission to use them yet, maybe by tomorrow. But if you've seen the pictures, the guy who got in the fight with Mark Sanchez looks so badly beaten up, Des. I'm not surprised that the original misdemeanor charges have already been upgraded to
felonies. Yeah. And this is not to make a light of this situation at all. But, you know, that saying when they say, oh, you see how beat up I am, you should see the other guy. Yeah. In this case, that is very true. So I think initially this came out, we hear he's stabbed. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, you know, you start to feel bad. What happened to him? And then, yeah, when you see pictures of this other gentleman, 69 years old, compared to the 38-year-old Sanchez, he is in bad shape. A cut from almost his ear to his mouth.
Right.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. All right. So if you haven't seen them, the pictures are out there online. You can certainly go look for them. But here's a little more of what actually got said at this presser, as we call it, at the news conference from law enforcement there in Indianapolis.
And with that additional information, we have added more serious charges against Mr. Sanchez. At this point in time, we have filed a felony charge, a level 5 felony of battery involving serious bodily injury, which contains a penalty of 1 to 6 years. You have the allegations involve a 38-year-old man becoming involved in an altercation with a 69-year-old man who sustained significant and very severe injuries as a result of that altercation. The probable cause outlines kind of the initial nature of that dispute. We are literally talking about people fighting over a parking space or a dispute about where people are parking, and it resulted in someone receiving just incredibly significant injuries.
I don't care who you are. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care where you live. If you come into our city, commit violence, we will use all the tools at our disposal to hold you accountable.
Well, certainly Indiana has some of the most robust self-defense laws in the nation, and that's always going to be part of the equation when you evaluate cases like this and trying to determine exactly what took place.
So that's just some. The big headline coming out is an upgraded charge to a felony with a max of 6 years in prison. We had a long way to go. You're always innocent until proven guilty in this country. But it doesn't look good for him, that's for sure. So he's already been charged with battery, resulting in injury, public intoxication, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and then the upgraded charge that you just heard about there that brings it up to a felony case.
Right, so he's facing those felonies and still some of those misdemeanor charges. And then after taking a look at everything, they say some of the factors that allowed them or that led them to increase the charges, the victim's injuries, the victim's age. So that is some of the things they took into consideration here.
And he's extremely hard of hearing. Of course, Sanchez would not have known this at the time, but it says right here in the affidavit that he didn't, this is the older man, didn't have his hearing aids in because the truck is so loud when he's doing this exchange of the frying oil for the hotel. So he had to lean in close to Mr. Sanchez to hear what he had to say. And that again, in the affidavit, it says, stated that Mr. Sanchez smelled of alcohol and his speech was slurred. And it sounds like it went downhill really fast.
Right. And some of the initial reports that came out, too, I was kind of surprised that said when police went in and talked to Sanchez while he was in the hospital and asked him, could he recount what happened? He stated to them that he didn't even know where he was.
And this is the night before he's supposed to do the play-by-play broadcast to be watched by millions of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, we asked TMZ about all this, what they had learned so far. Eric Wilson just joined us a little while ago, and here is what he had to say.
First of all, we should say that in fairness to Mark, he has not released a statement yet, so we do not know his side of the story fully. But yeah, very interesting situation this past weekend in Indianapolis. He was there to call the game yesterday. Obviously, he didn't make it there, but I guess there was an altercation late at night. Maybe some alcohol was involved. A 69-year-old man was delivering fryer oil to a hotel, and I guess Mark took we're not really sure how it started, but the guy was parked on a loading dock, and I guess him and Mark got into an altercation. The 69-year-old man maced Mark, didn't do anything to him, so he brought out a knife, apparently stabbed Mark a few times. Mark may have gotten the knife back, stabbed the guy. He has lacerations across his face. It was a really bloody mess, and both people got pretty injured in this situation.
So did it sound like, from what you've been able to determine, that Mark started it?
We don't know. I mean, it seems interesting that we don't know why he would care about this guy parking on a loading dock of the hotel that he was staying at.
Was he in his
delivery? So that's
vehicle,
where you make deliveries, at the loading dock.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's unclear exactly why or how this really started, and we really won't know until Mark's statement, I feel like, to shine some more light on the situation.
Well, and one of the articles that I read, Eric, this morning it says investigators reviewed hotel surveillance footage, which appeared to show Sanchez jogging into the alley and approaching the man's box truck. The two were seen talking before the interaction turned then physical. So you had this conversation, right? According to investigators anyway. But I think it's just kind of like this, again, like you mentioned, we have to wait for his statement, because what a crazy ordeal in the middle of the night.
Why would he care to begin with? It's just a very weird situation. I feel like we're still missing some pieces, so I don't want to put any blame on one particular person right now. But it is a very weird situation, and I think alcohol was involved as well. So, and
it's a work trip. Like, this is Ron. How many times have you gone on a work trip?
Right.
And you're like, okay, I'm going to hold off. I'm only having one martini. You know what I mean?
Your job is to be on TV, broadcasting and staying focused the entire time.
Right.
Being out that late for drinks is not a good look. But the press conference earlier this morning, it was announced that he's facing a level 5 felony battery charge.
Oh, so it got upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a 1 to 6 year sentence possibly.
Okay, so a lot of the details now, we have all learned just this morning in terms of what's happening, but we'll follow it all the way through. We're going to do a quick change of topic here, just to let you know, yes, the Mercury are down 2 zip, but we're not worried, Des, are we?
No.
No, we're not.
I mean, there's still plenty of games left, best of 7, so they can come back.
They need to just come back here to town and win the next couple.
Odds show, right, when you're down like 3-0.
Yeah.
Then there's some worry there. But we're not there yet.
This kind of makes this one almost
does make it a really important game.
Yes.
For sure.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so they're coming back from Las Vegas down 2 zip. But hey, I mean, you listen to Coach over the weekend, and he's like, people have counted us out all year. We're not worried at all.
Right. He's like, we weren't even supposed to be here, is what most people think.
Playing
so there's
with the
still
house's
a chance.
Money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's when it's more fun.
Yeah.
Right.
It is. Okay, we do a mystery cam for you. Wow. This is, I like this. Nice city. Where do you suppose it is? We'll be right back. I don't know where this is, but I like the looks of this town. Right there, just off the freeway, you got a nice little ballpark. That looks like a minor league ballpark to me, Des. Not a major league, but a nice facility. You know, off on the horizon there, you got the church steeple, and I don't know. I like the looks of it on a beautiful blue sky day. Where do you suppose? I'm going to go somewhere on the East Coast. I think I'm going to go like a Virginia.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
What do you think?
Oh, I don't know. And I'm trying to like pick up cues from the ballpark there.
When in
Like,
doubt,
what's blue?
when in doubt, always go with Darla or Louis.
Yeah.
Louis, Ohio. Darla's thinking
Dallas,
it could be Colorado.
Colorado.
Or first you guess Utah. Could be either one of them.
I'm going to have my girls back. Darla, I'm going with you.
Colorado?
Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
And where are
going
you thinking?
Virginia.
You're going Virginia?
And so,
Okay,
ladies
let
and
me
gentlemen,
see.
here comes Desiree with the mystery cam answer.
Oh, Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh, it is. Okay. Well, I had the East Coast vibe going, but
Yeah,
I was
you were
about
right. You were
200
close.
miles
You're on the right coast.
too far north or too far south, I guess. That's Wilmington. All right. Well, now I do want to go explore. You know, I'm dedicated to exploring a new state every year for a week. Minnesota this year, North Dakota last year. I would say Delaware, but I think I'd be done in about an hour and a half. You know what I mean, Dave?
Dave, have you been to
look
Delaware?
at Dave. He's already making plays.
He's like, I'm booking my flight right now.
Yeah.
Leave me be.
Dave's
Leave
like,
me be.
Yeah, if you're going to Delaware, I'm in. Right?
Sounds
Good. Okay, well, that's our mystery
Dave.
cam anyway.
He's like, whatever Ron Noon says.
Sure. Okay, so there's a crazy story that we wanted to bring to. It has to do with this judge. Don't know if you heard about it or not, but she's out for a walk over the weekend with her husband still in the house, and all of a sudden the house explodes and a fire ensues in her entire home. She and her husband, her name is Diane Goldstein. She's 69. She said, I'm all right. She was out doing a little walk. They are out on a lake or a beach, that kind of a thing. And they are now trying to figure out, but she was in the news there because she'd issued a strong ruling against the Trump administration. Her husband, a former Democrat state senator, had to jump from a first floor window and had some broken bones. And so now they're working to determine what might have caused it. Could it all have been coincidence when she was in the news just the other day, where that was after the DOJ had requested officials in South Carolina turn over the personal data of more than 3 million voters. And so, wow, I mean, it's called Edisto Beach in South Carolina. And thank goodness everybody got out of that situation alive. I'm still trying to figure out if her kids were in the house at the time, or maybe even grandkids, but she just happened to be out of the house at the very moment it happened. So still a bit of a mystery, and we just don't know yet.
Yeah, and I don't know how you prevent things like this, right?
Yes.
I'm sure. How long did she go as a judge receiving threats? You know, you're in a difficult line of work, and it's not new to see some of these attacks. They had the attack on Paul Pelosi, Nancy, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband.
And I had
you had the
read-
shooting in Minnesota that killed the lawmakers there.
Yes, and I had read that she had specifically been receiving death threats recently.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's tough. It just, we're just living in such a violent age. But, we'll see. We'll see where the investigation goes on that one for sure. Okay, so let's talk T Swift, shall we? We have been looking forward to when Dave, our producer, our executive producer, says, look, we can get the top guy at Variety, the senior music writer there. He's Chris Willman. And am I introducing you properly as the top guy at Variety? Is that about correct? Oh, hold on. Are you on mute? Check your... Oh, no, I got you. Okay, we can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, you're the top guy or what?
I not top, but one of the top people in the music department.
Senior music writer and chief music critic. There you go.
For sure. Yeah. Is it tough to be a critic when you're critiquing maybe the most popular singer in a generation who has tens of millions of fans?
Yeah, it would definitely be tougher if I was not kind of historically on board for Taylor and very partial to her. I mean, I've said that she's the one artist I can think of among major artists who has kind of got an unbroken streak. She's on 12 albums now that I think are all pretty great. So I am in alignment with the fans on that there's a very high quality every time. So if I had a lesser opinion of her, I'd be a little more worried. Yeah, I would be watching my back.
Well, I mean, through all of these years and through those albums, as you have listened to her, you've written about her and studied her, what is it about her that fans are so attracted to?
I think it's the combination of, incredible pop craftsmanship that is really unmatched in music today, combined with the fact that it feels like you're having a conversation with her. And, she has fostered that incredible illusion that everything about her life, which you certainly know more from the songs than you do from her interviews, where she clams up a lot more, and then suddenly it's all there in the music. And so, millions and millions and millions of people have got the illusion that she's their bestie. And you combine that with, music that sticks in your craw like, or your cranium like the best of ABBA, and it's quite a combination.
There you go. Des, I had mentioned on the show one day that I first came across Taylor Swift in her kind of country music days, coming out of Nashville. And there was a song, and I'm sure, Chris, you've heard it, and it just, I hate to say this, because I'm supposed to be a tough guy. I'm listening to it at the gym with my headphones on, and as a dad, I literally was fighting back tears. It was called The Best Day. Oh. And you remember that one, Chris, where, this is her style. Somehow she puts lyrics together that can connect to you. And it's about, she came home because she had been bullied at school, and her mom put her in the car, and they drove till she didn't even know where they were. And they went window shopping. And on the way home, I don't know if I'll ever be friends with them again, but I know, Mom, I had the best day with you.
Oh.
And I mean, somehow she's really, I don't know. Is that a pretty good example, you think, of the way she can really cut through with her lyrics, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, this album is very different in that it's very happy and upbeat. Yeah. But if you want tearjerkers, there's one or two on here. There's a song about a boy from her school days that died, and she's singing about how, she almost kissed him but never did, and now she's going to his funeral, and she even names their mutual best friend, Abigail, who has come up in her lyrics earlier. And so that it's a true life story, and it's very kind of touching, chilling, although, it sounds warm. And then, but then, the rest of the album is about, almost all the rest of the album is about her and Travis, and it's very positive. So, but she tends to throw at least one tearjerker in there every time.
I gotta ask. I got my pen out right now. This is the main thing I was looking forward to in the interview
what are you writing
with you.
Down?
I want to hear from Chris what he thinks are probably the three best songs. I haven't had a chance yet, time-wise, to go listen. If there were three songs that you really wanted people to hear and kind of dig into, could you make a choice?
Well, I might single out two different sets.
Yeah.
There's two of the prettiest songs she's ever written, I think, back to back in Eldest Daughter, which is a love song to Travis. It also gets into like family background and birth order and things like that. Yeah. But just, and has that kind of incredible bridge that she's known for. And Ruin the Friendship was the one I was just talking to about the childhood friend who died. And those are back to back, and those will just really break you down if you're in the mood for a ballad. And then there's the two very opposite end of the scale, the two diss tracks that people are talking about, which are, I don't know if they're my favorites, but I do think they're fun. There's Father Figure, which is based on a George Michael interpolation, but she's reworked it to make it a whole different song about her mentor, Scott Borchetta, and their falling out. And then there's a song called Actually Romantic, which is a very playful diss song, which people have taken as aimed at a rival, Charlie XCX. So that's kind of the yin and yang of the album at the opposite extremes, which I kind of enjoy.
Romantic is one of our coworkers' favorites. But I saw an article over the weekend, I think, if this was accurate, that Taylor's favorite song on this album is Wish List.
Wish list is up there for me too, and it's a very playful, fun song, and a serious love song for Travis, in which she talks about wanting to settle down and have babies and have the whole block look like them, by which she means have a lot of babies. Apparently, it's enough to fill the block. And then the verses are kind of, here's what other people want, and it's not a put down of other people's desires, I think, but she lists them in a very funny fashion, like what people want out of life, contrasted with her dream of, marital bliss.
Wow. How do you suppose, I think back, I DJ'd back in the 1970s, and everybody looked forward to the next Elton John album, but not every song he came out with or every album was a huge hit. You had Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and then you had Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy, from the same guy.
Oh, I don't know that
so
one,
who knows?
yeah.
Maybe Captain Fantastic's your all-time favorite album, but what is it about her where to go 12 for 12 is actually really remarkable?
Yeah, I mean, so I have rock heroes like a lot of people, like Bruce Springsteen, Dylan, and they've all let me down at some point. And I really go back to the Beatles for okay, there was not a dud in there, and of course they were able to maintain that perfect record by retiring the band much earlier than they should have. But Tyler is not retiring her brand, and the fact that she has kept up this streak since 2006, so we're going on almost 20 years
Long
now.
streak, yeah.
And
So has Taylor let you down?
Yeah, she's just very reliable, and I think she makes a different album every time. I mean, this is completely the opposite in most ways of the Tortured Poets Department, which came out only a year and a half ago, and that was a very kind of somber, downbeat album for the most part, again with exceptions, and this is the complete opposite of that. And I think part of what is a winning formula for her is great collaborators and co-producers, but she's really driving the ship, and she make sure that each record has its own identity. And I think that's part of what gets people out opening day, is because she doesn't release singles ahead of the albums anymore, so they don't know what they're going to get till opening day. And it's a different tone lyrically and musically every time.
Yeah, she's taking over the theaters too.
Yeah, number one of the box office.
Well.
Chris,
Yeah.
thanks for your time.
Awesome.
We got to
Thank
run.
you.
We're out of time and up
You bet.
against a break, but really appreciate your perspective.
Thank you.
You bet. And so, Des, it's already time for us
Just
to
like
say
that.
our goodbyes.
We're wait, 30 seconds left.
I know. Now I know which tracks to go listen to. How about that?
Yeah, that's
right?
a good list. There
Yeah,
you go.
for
You should
sure.
add wish list too, just because that was Taylor's favorite.
Okay, you got it. Let's say our goodbyes.